In this lecture, we're going to take a moment to talk about lists. As we know, arrays were introduced for storing a collection of data. C# has another feature for storing a collection of data called lists. Lists are considered more popular than arrays. More often than not, developers prefer to work with lists than arrays. Let's find out why. As mentioned before, lists were introduced for storing a collection of data. So, rather than storing a single value in a variable, we can store multiple pieces of data that are related to one another. The syntax for creating a list is different than an array. First, we must add a namespace called system.collections.generic. Unlike arrays, lists can be created as an instance from a class. The class for creating a list can be found in this namespace. Next, we can proceed to create a new instance of the class. The name of the class is called list. We can restrict the type of values that can be inserted into a list by using a generic. In this example, we are creating a list of food. Therefore, the type will be string. Afterward, we can add values to the list with the add method. For each value that we want to add, we must call this method with the value passed in. Lastly, we can access a specific value by using a pair of square brackets. Similar to arrays, lists are zero-indexed. The first item in the list has an index of 0. The second item has an index of 1, so on and so forth. So, why would we want to use a list? The syntax feels denser than an array. While that may be true, lists are more powerful. Unlike arrays, lists are easier to sort and filter through. You may want to reverse the order of items in a collection of values. With lists, this task is simple. Secondly, lists are flexible. Arrays have a fixed size. This means that once you add items to an array, it's difficult to add more items. Lists don't have a fixed size. We can remove or add items from a list whenever we'd like. For these two reasons, lists are considered more popular. In the next lecture, let's use a list for storing a collection of buttons found in the current menu.